There's some medical phrases that medical professionals use sometimes, and it really bothers me because I don't know what the fuck they mean. A lot of alternative healthcare professionals just put a bunch of random words together and then hope it means something. And then they use that as buzzwords to sell whatever supplement. Number
This is crazy what he's saying.
one, toning your vagus nerve as if it's
When I had toxic black mold in 2016 and the gas leak at my house in 2024, I had terrible symptoms, and it all had to do with toxicity. But my symptoms were like vagus nerve, vagus tone symptoms, meaning the vagus nerve goes from your brainstem to your gut. It controls all your digestion. And then that's part of the autonomic nervous system. It also controls sweating. You can sweat too much or too little. And it has to do with breathing, has to do with brain function, muscle function, coordination. Every single organ in the body can be dysfunctional because your nervous system is not working very well. So how do you tone your vagus nerve? Honestly, detox, take vitamin B1, and there's other supplements for nerve health.
some sort of muscle, like you're trying to give your vagus nerve a six pack. Like at best, toning your vagus nerve means like you're trying to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. But like if you could selectively regulate that, then ICU rounds would just be like karaoke and vibes.
So there are things that you can do for your vagus tone, and that has to do with lights and sound and exercise and rest and a variety of things. And it's in the research, but I think before that, there's biochemistry that needs to be corrected. But you can do both at the same time. So don't let him stop you from trying things to get your nervous system under control. I've been there. I've had patients go there, and you get better. You have to get better. You have to do something to heal your nervous system. It's not just about healing other organs or some part of the body. The nervous system controls everything, just like your hormonal system. Those are the two things that control everything in your body.
Or two, when people say like I'm going to detox and go on a juice cleanse or like cleanse my body of all the toxins that are inside, that doesn't mean anything. If you have a liver and working kidneys, you're fine, right?
It is the greatest thing that you can do is to detox your body. I've heard this many times on social media where medical doctors like him say, if your liver works and your kidneys work, you're totally fine. And how do they determine if your liver and kidneys are working? They run a blood test, and you have normal labs on your liver and kidney markers, but that doesn't mean that they're working just fine. And if they are working fine, how is it that this person has so many toxins and all these toxins need to be cleaned up? If her liver and kidneys were working fine, she would have no toxins. I run this test on many, many people. Everybody's toxic. And then for the next 6 months to a year and a half, we're detoxing them. And then sure enough, we rerun this test and they get better. Their toxicities go down or they go away. Their symptoms go away. They feel better. Their energy's up. Their brain's working better. So I've been using open evidence AI, digging into the research about toxicity, and I'm asking questions, and toxins come up often related to chronic disease. So when a medical doctor like this says, don't worry about toxicity, these cleanses don't work, they don't do anything, that's a waste of money, that is completely false. It's in the science. You can detox and you can get better, but you have to go to like a holistic practitioner because he's a drug-based doctor. 900,000 medical doctors only use drugs. It's really sad. And the drugs are toxic. That's the problem. It's part of the problem. So the more toxins you take, the more drugs you take, the sicker you get and the sooner you die. It's called polypharmacy. It's a real thing. It's in the medical literature. And we got people like this guy saying, oh, don't worry about it. Just take more drugs. We will prescribe them to you. They're totally safe and effective. But man, detoxing is one of the most important things you can possibly do.
You're not going to magically get rid of toxins in your body that don't exist by drinking celery juice.
You can take a test called Total Tox Burden. It's available to anybody. It's on this webpage right here. Run this test. It's a urine sample. Ship it to the lab. They come back with a report, and it tells you how many toxins you have. Then start detoxing, and a year later, redo the test and watch your symptoms go away. Just ignore what this guy's saying. He does not have any clue. He's never tested anybody for toxins. He's never detoxed anybody ever. He only prescribes drugs. I don't know who he is, but based on what he says, I know that I'm 100% right.
You know what is detoxing your body? Dialysis.
Okay. Sure, in the medical world, dialysis cleans up your blood, but we're trying to prevent that But that's his world, is end stage pathology and disease. You're near death, you see him, he will drug you to try to keep you alive. They will recommend dialysis to try to keep you alive. We're way before that.
If detoxing your body worked the way that people think it did, then every hospital floor would just be juice bars and saunas.
No, it would be more like EDTA, IV chelation, fulvic acid, and humic acid. And someday it should be like that. But the hospitals, it takes a while to get that done. And yeah, it's a really good thing. Hospitals should be detoxing people without a doubt. No question. He's absolutely right. Juice bars and saunas, I don't think so effective. Although there's tons of research on saunas, but there's more science behind detoxing than that. All right, here we're going to talk about number 3, chiropractors. I'm a chiropractor. Here we go.
3, chiropractors say you need to balance your hormones. Like, your hormones fluctuate throughout the day.
They do fluctuate throughout the day. They actually also fluctuate throughout the month, and some of them fluctuate throughout the year. But there are panels of hormones that you can take where you collect saliva samples throughout the day, or you take saliva samples throughout the month. I've run these on men and women to see where your hormones are at. So balancing the hormones means that you can have, let's say, a normal level of progesterone and a normal level of estrogen, but yet they're like this within normal range. The ratio is too far off, or this way. So that's part of balancing. And I actually don't even work on hormones so much, but I work on organs so that they work better, so that they make more hormones or less hormones. And I have one patient, she had terrible symptoms, tons of anxiety, and inward trembling. She just was a total mess. We ran a lab test on her, and her cortisol was crazy high. All the other organs were normal. So does she need to balance her cortisol and bring it down and balance her hormones? 100% yes. And I tried a few things, but I sent her off to see a medical specialist, and they found a tumor on her adrenals. So she's going to get that tumor taken care of, and then guess what? Her hormones will be balanced.
You wake up, your cortisol and your testosterone are at the highest level, and it's very different from the end of the day. And this last one pisses me off more than anything. That's when people say, we need to find the root cause of your...
Oh boy, finding the root cause of your illness. I've made several videos about this so far. So you can get a diagnosis, let's say autoimmune disease, such as like a garbage diagnosis would be chronic fatigue syndrome, and say, oh, that's autoimmune disease, or Sjogren's, or rosacea, or something like that. That diagnosis, that disease name, it's just describing symptoms and labs. That's what it's describing. But then you have to go earlier. There's something earlier that happened that caused that. Now, it could be genetics, but when you look through, I use Open Evidence AI, and it says the rest of the causes are toxins, infections, and a bad diet, and other lifestyle choices. So you can have a really good effect on autoimmune diseases with detoxing, cleaning up your body of all kinds of organisms, and making sure your diet is right for you. And then there's genetic issues, and a lot of those genetic issues can be tested, and the solutions are commonly supplements, sometimes drugs, but mostly supplements to supplement the genetic deficiency where there's going to be some kind of a biochemical missing agent, and then you supply that agent by taking nutritional supplements. So finding the root cause is something that I've seen this over and over again on social media. I'm so glad medical doctors are getting on social media because I'm seeing the ridiculous things that they're saying. Like, if you're not finding the root cause, what are you doing? You're treating the symptoms. And if you're treating a disease, guess what? You're just treating the symptoms. And that's why people stay on drugs, and they're on the same drug for the rest of their life. And now they have polypharmacy, and that's a problem. And I actually help people get off drugs because we get them better. And I've had people get off their arthritis drugs and off their steroids and their inhalers and all that stuff. And I don't tell them to get off the drugs. That's not my license. I let the MDs do that. But I'm the guy supplying nutrients and herbs and correcting their diet and detox. And over time, they just get better. It's not a quick fix. It takes months to and a few years. So yeah, finding the root cause is vital. It's the most important thing you got to do. And guess what? There's usually many root causes for one person. Different types of pathogens, different types of toxins, different organs needing nutritional support, different organs needing drainage, making sure you're on the right diet. Sometimes you need to just flip your diet around to a different diet. So there's many factors here. It's not just finding one disease and then giving some drug to treat that disease.
Or illness. In real medicine, root cause means very specific things like infection, ischemia, genetic disorders, autoimmune disease.
So ischemia is not a root cause. Autoimmune disease is not a root cause. Infections, yes. But here, this is terminology that I see over and over again where somebody's given a diagnosis and they're like, yep, that's my root cause. I have Crohn's disease. That's my root cause. No, Crohn's disease is not a root cause. There's genetic, there's infection, there's toxins, there's gallbladder dysfunction, there's small intestine dysfunction, pituitary dysfunction, on and on. So it's never just the disease name that is the root cause.
Malignancy, etc.
He also mentioned malignancies. Yeah, that's a problem. Cancer is definitely a problem. Again, what's causing cancer? Genetics, yeah, but also mold mycotoxins. That causes cancer. It's in the research too. I'm not just making this up. Aflatoxin, that causes cancer. What else causes cancer? Toxins, heavy metals, chemicals. There's lawsuits all over the news about various toxins causing cancer. And of course, we know our terrible standard American diet is causing cancer. And we know about the mechanism, high insulin, et cetera, et cetera. There's one main mechanism of chronic illness, and there's over 20 more other mechanisms, but there's one main mechanism.
Like, those are root causes. Those have mechanisms, and those have treatments that have been validated time and time again.
And those treatments are drugs. He's talking about treatments, right? Not actually curing. And, and it's kind of messy, right? Medicine is a bit messy.
And have hundreds of studies to support them. Typically, when someone says we need to find the root cause, it usually means I'm not going to find out what's wrong with you, but I know that this supplement is going to fix you.
So he might just be watching a lot of social media where people are saying, here, take this nutritional supplement, multivitamin, it fixes the root cause, without a proper workup and assessment and a proper plan. And there are people that will sell you a multivitamin and say, just take this for the rest of your life. It has everything that you need for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's never a true statement because your body goes through different needs, et cetera, et cetera. So typically you find a root cause and then you can address that. And then you switch over to the next root cause. And then you switch to the next root cause. And guess what? There's a blood test for this. It's called MVX Plus. It's at LabCorp, which is a nationwide lab system. And it's one blood draw, one vial. You go in the morning fasted, and it tells you your biggest red flags. Is it infection? Is it inflammation? Is it toxicity? Is it malnutrition? Or is it mitochondrial dysfunction? Those are the 5 things that have been known for decades to be the underlying problem related to complex chronic illness. So if you have, let's say, malnutrition showing up on that blood test, you work through that for the next few months, and then you keep redoing the test, let's say every 6 to 8 weeks, and then it'll tell you the next thing to do, maybe detoxing, maybe tackle the immune system and help that eliminate pathogens. So all the things that he's frustrated about, he doesn't know the answers to. And as a matter of fact, he's made other videos just like this. I think he's just taking this opportunity to try to bash alternative or holistic medicine. And now it's a tribal thing, because the last thing he does is he quotes a guy that I've been communicating with and debating with through internet videos. It's kind of a mess, but here's how he finishes it.
In the wise words of Dr. Antihero, don't get scammed, take back your health.
Yeah, don't get scammed, take back your health. You got to improve your health instead of treating disease and symptoms. There's this concept about ideas versus beliefs. And if you have a belief system, it's hard to take in new ideas or evaluate them and then come up with a new belief. So let's all focus on ideas, investigate them, try them out, and not have this belief system that will prevent us from progressing forward to help more people. Like I said, he's done this video before, and now he's redoing it. I think it's just clickbait, rage bait, whatever. And it's telling me that he's got some tribalism going on.
You're saying having beliefs is a bad thing?
I just think it's better to have ideas. I mean, you can change an idea. Changing a belief is trickier.